Oh, I forgot to draw my fucking YouTuber. I wasn't thinking about that. Well, whatever. One sec.
Whatever. Whatever.
Whatever. Did anybody get the 69?
Oh, yeah, Steven did.
Steven did. Okay, perfect. That's fine.
Yeah. Thanks, DM.
Oh. I was asking. I know it's so important to you guys.
Yeah.
Such a silly little bit.
I like our bit. You shh.
I know, it's fine. Alright. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Minus Liz, who will hopefully, crossing fingers, she'll join us eventually. But yeah. So where we left off, guys. You guys managed to kill Musa, God of Music, in this alternate reality. And we're given a way out, a very intense portal from that reality's God of Fate. But upon getting through the portal, you realize something was wrong. First of all, that your friend Zareth and Noctis were not with you. Them being the last two to exit the portal. They have yet to reappear, and you're not sure if they will at this point. But you guys found yourselves in the quiet streets of Emperor's Vale before being very quickly collected by a young draconic gentleman, a version of Zareth that existed far, far before your guys' time. Zareth took you back to his home. At the watch me not remember the house's name.
Hey, buddy, I believe in you.
Oh, it's fine. Zagreus. Yes, that's what it was. The Zagreus sort of estate. A very large manor. Unlike where Holly was taken by Zareth when they were there briefly. It's a fairly large, very clean manor. And you guys are led inside by Zareth. As you enter the building, you can kind of feel, or you can smell the sort of sweet scent of like freshly baked cookies, like sugar cookies to be exact. And you can hear the quiet hums of a woman singing to herself as you enter. And as you do so, you do hear, as the door closes behind all of you, you hear her go, "Oh, Seraph, is that you?"
Yep. How's it going, Iridessa?
"Oh, pretty good. I just finished this batch of cookies. Do you want to come try one?"
Oh, absolutely. But before that, promise you won't freak out?
"Why would I freak out?"
Oh, well, no particular reason, really. But to some people, it could seem like, a pretty major problem. But it's not a problem. I have it handled.
Zareth, you see as turning the corner from the kitchen, this very tall and very thin, extremely beautiful woman, with very pale skin and like whitish hair that seems to sort of shift and change, with almost this like sort of iridescent color, thus her name. She's these bright, kind of like very bright, like almost like pastelish pink eyes. As she turns the corner, she's wearing kind of like a very feminine, like girly, like frilly apron on, and you can see her hands are covered in just like flour. As she looks over and she turns the corner, looking, trying to look at you, Zareth, and then her eyes slowly fall down upon the humans
So, I brought guests. Surprise.
Did you? Well, welcome to our home. I, Can I ask why you've brought a handful of very bloodied-looking humans to our house?
Well, they said some pretty interesting things, and I kind of want to ask some questions. And this is the safest place to do it.
Okay.
They also clearly don't look great.
No, not at all. Okay. Okay. First off, Nothar will be home, like, any minute. So...
Wonderful.
I just figured I'd warn you. Hello.
So, I'll hide them upstairs. Cover for me?
No, hold on. Sit them down at the table. I'll be right back. You see she kind of turns around the corner, and kind of walks into a very large, kind of like open pantry section, where she seems to be looking for something for a second. Do you want
When I look to the table, will these humans fit?
Yes. You are only, okay, you're only about you are taller, but you're only about 2 feet taller than them. So the chairs might be a little bit larger, but it'd be the equivalent of like feeling like a child sitting in a chair. That's just like a little bit too big. But no.
Okay.
Yeah,
Then this way.
Out of those of you who took damage,
yes, very.
Very?
Yes.
Yes, very. Quinn, did you take any damage at all?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All of you, perfect.
Not a ton, but a bit.
Okay.
Before Zareth healed me, I was at 12 health.
Oh, lovely.
I'm at 28 now, but...
Iridessa, after you guys sit down on these very nice wooden carved kind of like dining table chairs as you guys sit down. And Iridessa, you see she kind of waves her hand, and like a mage hand kind of brings over a plate of these freshly baked sugar cookies. Seem to be topped with kind of like this sort of chopped kind of like I believe we agreed that it's kind of like a purplish fruit, right?
Yeah, it's purple-ish. It kind of shifts colors.
It does, yeah. It's purplish. It seems to be topped with this sort of like finely chopped purplish kind of fruit and a kind of like buttercream like frosting. And the mage hand kind of brings it out, and you hear her from afar. She's like, "Oh, help yourself! I'll be right there." And then she walks back with in her hands a small kind of like wooden chest, which she opens up and takes out a couple things of incense, and quickly begins to light them. And kind of stands near you, and you can hear her mumbling some sort of spell casting, specifically with a very it sounds very old, but it is draconic in sense, which you probably would be able to pick up, specifically Quinn. And for if you guys want to help yourself to the cookies, you're more than welcome to.
Hell yeah.
Sarah, you know exactly what the fuck these are. Iridessa makes these all the time for you, but Ramsey, Quinn, and Rypley.
Keep growing. They're quite good.
Very tiredly a reach for it.
Mm-hmm. It's
It's on the draconic first.
what? Sorry.
I want to try to listen to the draconic first.
Oh, it's you realize that she's casting a prayer of healing. Actually something as a bard you're very familiar with. It's just in draconic, in old draconic. She kind of hums this sort of draconic melody to you, and all of you are able to regain 30 points of damage. So all of you heal for 30.
Ever so lovely. Thank you.
Still exhausted, though.
Yeah, still exhausted, but it doesn't cure exhaustion, but at least it'll heal you. You guys are no longer actively bleeding out. And with that, she kind of will go, okay, do they need... That should help a little bit. Do you need bandages or poison and antidotes of any kind where you... Zareth doesn't normally have guests. What brings you all to Emperor's Vale, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, that is an interesting question to answer. Usually I'd answer in a song, but I am simply under the weather today.
I didn't know that was a thing that people do.
Well, I'm
outside
not
of
a people.
musicals.
Well, I've been in my handful of musicals, I understand. But,
You have! I can tell. You have such a way about you.
I put my hand over
I-
Broadway's mouth.
do you guys want to roll, actually, do you want to roll a history check? I'll let Broadway roll this. With advantage, because I think that's funny. Quinn, also because you're a bard, I'll let you roll with advantage. Zareth and Rypley, you can also roll history checks if you want, but...
I know who this woman is.
Zareth, you don't need to roll one. Zareth, you know exactly who the fuck this is. Never mind.
I have disadvantage still from mine.
Yeah, 5.
Spell.
You this very nice dragon lady gave you some very sweet cookies, and they're quite nice. You can roll with advantage, yeah. Perfect, 25. Ramsey? Or Broadway?
So here's the thing. In my heart of hearts, I wish I could tell you that I got a dirty 20, but technically my disadvantage would just because you gave me advantage would cancel out, and that means I have to go
Why
with
do you
the
have
8
disadvantage?
because I'm exhausted twice.
Oh, yeah. So you have so it's a one single roll. Okay. So was yours just the +1? D20 +1?
Yes, that's right.
All right, that's fine. Soft squishy 20. I'll give it a squishy 20. That's fine. So yeah, Broadway and Quinn, you kind of think for a moment, and suddenly, the face of this woman, though maybe to your knowledge you didn't realize that she was draconic, which comes to you as a surprise, because she doesn't have horns or a tail or anything. If anything, she looks more elven, and if anything, maybe a bit like very elven and very elegant. Like, she almost looks like more like a high fae than she does draconic in a sense. Her long pointed ears, but you do see just the ever so like shimmering light of like scales that just kind of like rest on her cheeks. And those who are have studied or are involved in a more artistic background would recognize Iridessa as Iridessa. She was about maybe 500 or so years ago a very, very, very famous actor and actress and singer. She starred in hundreds of plays and tales that still people try to retell today. The equivalent of like I guess the equivalent of like Marilyn Monroe. She single-handedly amongst the, not even about dragons, amongst like the human population, she was renowned and an idol. People looked to her as this like icon of beauty, and they did for quite a few decades, until she very tragically died, with the 25, I'll say this, I'll give Quinn this with the 25, is Quinn, you're fully aware that she died of a very, very, very tragic illness, and she did so in her like basically like the equivalent to your knowledge of like her like late 20s to early 30s. And she, in this moment, to you at least, appears to be like her early 20s, like early to mid 20s. But I'll give you that. But yeah, you guys quietly kind of have that recognition of this is a very iconic and person. Especially especially in like that sort of acting, musical industry. She's very renowned.
I do apologize, madame. If you don't mind my asking. And Broadway is going to take a piece of paper from Ramsey's notebook and just gently rip it out, sort of slide it across the table. Could I please get your autograph? It would be my honor.
Well, I don't normally give out autographs in my own home.
I do apologize if that's not apropos. It's just, you are stunning.
Thank you very much. Roll a persuasion check.
Lovely.
Sorry, Iridessa. I forgot that.
No, it's fine. I built a fan base amongst them. I'm not. This doesn't come to a surprise for me. She does. Yeah, she'll give you her autograph.
I will say I do have to roll with disadvantage because of the exhaustion.
That's fine.
That's just...
Sure, go for it. Yikes, bud. She kind of... sorry, you don't get it then. Yeah, she kind of gently pushes it back and then kind of turns back to Zareth, kind of ignoring that. She looks a little bit flustered and a little bit at it, and she's like, Zareth, it's okay. Why don't you take your friends upstairs to rest? I will cover for you for now. But you're gonna have to explain this to your brother. There's no way he's not going to pick up on this. I won't say
mentioned
anything.
that you are the most beautiful soul in all of Emperor's Vale.
Ah, yes. And I know for a fact you're just saying that.
What do you mean? It is the truest thing I've ever said in this moment.
Uh-huh. You get lost before your brother gets home.
It's actually a good idea. Okay, everyone, upstairs.
Do you want to describe what Zareth's room looks like as you bring them up the staircase to the second floor?
Oh, I just assumed he was taking them to a guest room.
Oh, a guest room. Oh, sure. Yeah, you can take them to a guest room. You have those.
Because Zareth doesn't have a bed.
Yeah, but you still take them to your room.
There's nowhere to sleep.
So not having a bed is not anything new for Zareth. Noted.
Nope.
No, this is his comfortable zone. Yeah, you can take them up to a guest bedroom. It's what you would expect from a guest bedroom. Very simple. There's like maybe a wardrobe with like some like boxes that have seemed to be pushed into the corner for just like they've been using the space for like extra storage. Haven't totally put anything away. The bed at least is nice and made. And there's kind of like a large window on the opposite side of the room that kind of looks out into the back garden. It's quite a beautiful house, all things considered. Kind of gives you the idea that this family, at least, is quite well off.
Right, you should be able to set up in here. Definitely keep on the down low until I find an excuse my brother will accept.
I have to say, you're quite hospitable, my friend. Thank you.
No worries. But I do have questions, and I will expect an answer for them once you are rested. But
Yes.
for now, focus on getting back. Do you need anything else before I headed out?
No.
I do feel it's worth warning you. I personally am glad to answer any questions as soon as we're rested. Not entirely certain you'll like all the answers, though. Just as a footnote.
Well, when gathering information, it's not exactly about what you want to hear, but truth is what I'm hoping you'll provide. Anyway, you get some rest. And he will leave the room if no one has any other questions for him.
Fair enough. All right. At this point, you guys can. There's one bed, in this room, and that's it. So, get cozy. It is like quite a large bed though. Like it's like bigger than a king size. So there's plenty of room if you guys.
California king.
Yeah, it's a California king bed. Like it's an enormous bed, but there is only one. So get comfy, cuddle up together.
It will take the bed and kick anyone else who drives off.
There's one bed, Quinn, please.
Broadway. possessing Ramsey's body. He's not going to lay in the bed. He is instead going to. I want to make it clear. This is as dramatic as possible. Fall to the ground majestically. And he lays out like a Disney princess.
Can you do that again, but less elegance and more concussions? Hopefully that'll send Ramsey back to us.
Oh yes, I'll always accept a note from my director. And he falls for real.
Oh my gosh, I had a thought. What happened?
Ramsey take a point of damage. Zareth, he pops back into the room.
Who died?
Ramsey's laying on the floor.
It's okay.
I didn't realize that humans were so. What's the?
Ramsey?
That's it.
Oh,
Well,
my friend.
Humans aren't. Musically possessed drow seem to be.
Oh dear. That sounds like something you might want to get taken care of. Possession's not usually something you leave around for a while. But again,
Well,
none of my business.
me, I would do
Have a
anything to
night.
get rid of
Sorry
it.
about that.
I have to say, producer, it's a shame to hear you say that. You did bring me to the stage, but I will accept this, I suppose.
Just ignore him. Have a good night.
I'm so confused. Okay, yeah, have a good night, guys.
Alright, you guys can turn in and rest. Your evening quickly passes by as you guys can lay down and take a long rest.
Beautiful. And I know Jake said that Broadway was flopping to the floor, not getting on the bed. If at any point Broadway tries to get Ramsey is fine. If Ramsey wakes up in the middle of the night and decides to climb into the bed, that's fine. If Broadway tries to climb into the bed, that is the one person that Quinn will actually try to kick out of the bed.
That's fair. Deserved, even.
That's fine. Alright. As you all are spooning each other to sleep. That was a joke. You guys can wake the next morning. You see the sun rising over Emperor's Vale. And in the morning, can I have everybody make a perception check? This is hearing based.
Yeah,
I still have disadvantage, but it's a straight roll at
Yeah,
least.
So, yeah.
26.
Nice.
Natural one.
Awesome.
Oh no.
Yeah.
All right. 23.
All right.
So Quinn and Rypley hear this. As you guys kind of awake, you guys hear the quiet mumbling of conversation coming from downstairs. And it's not immediately recognizable to anybody, because the one person who did hear this voice is not conscious. Ramsey is clonked out on the floor. You don't hear this, as Quinn and
I thought this was
Ripley-
after everybody rested. Wouldn't Ramsey
Yes.
be back?
Ramsey-
Yeah, but it's a
Right,
failed perception.
Yeah, but it's a failed
Yeah.
perception
Oh,
check, so
shit.
we're gonna say Ramsey's still asleep, because this is kind of like what you hear as you're waking up.
Yeah.
At this
yeah.
point, you're fully rested, but this is what you hear as you wake up. You hear somebody, a gentleman, with kind of a deeper, kind of gruff voice, kind of asking, "Why did you have the med kit out? Did you get hurt?" And the voice, which you know is iridescent, quickly responds, no, Zareth just cut his finger, paper cut, you know how he is." And the gentleman responds, "Right." And he asked you to fix it? And she goes, "Yes." You can then you kind of hear the kind of heavy footsteps of someone kind of walking around the bottom of the house. Zareth, at this point, you're awake if you want to try and confront your brother. As Nathar's getting a little suspicious.
Okay, so this is like the next morning, right?
This is like the next morning.
He'll go down. Hey, Nathar, do you have a moment?
Plenty.
Oh, fantastic. So, hypothetically, if I came across some mangled mortals just wandering around the town that said they were time travelers and brought them into the spare room, how mad would you be on a scale from 1 to 10?
I do not like where this is going.
I said hypothetically, scale from 1 to 10.
If I go in there and there's a concoffle of mangled humans in our spare bedroom, I am... Zareth, you can't collect humans like puppies.
Well,
First it
you
was the
know-
kobolds. And that I
only-
understood. But this...
In my defense, only one of them's a human.
You know exactly what I mean. Humanoids.
Yes, but they were in a little bit of trouble, and the situation seems very
And you
unique.
didn't think to return them to the proper authorities.
Well, I'm...
Oh, okay. You see Zathar, like, pinches his brow. And he's so, looking so fucking stressed, but he's like...
You know what? I say that looks like an 8.
Who are they?
Well, they say that the time travel is from 500 years in the future.
Okay. And you believe them? Why?
Oh, well... I figured, well, if they were lying, then they're going to be in for a very unfortunate testing. But if they're not lying, then perhaps they really do need help. So, it's entertaining either way.
Zareth, you know I can tell when people lie.
That one was not a lie. I'm genuinely wondering where this is going.
Bring them to me, and I'll tell you if they're telling the truth. And then if they are lying...
Well, I just wanted them to rest before I started any interrogation.
Let
I'm
them
pretty...
stay here? How long have they been in this house?
less than 24 hours?
How many hours?
I don't know, 15?
15?
Maybe.
A long rest takes 8 hours. Unless you want to commit to 15.
Maybe 10. I'm not very good at time, you know that.
Zareth!
Okay, it was like 10.
My god. You hear... Nathar immediately just begins to stomp away. He's heading upstairs. Those of you inside the room, what would you like to do as you hear this? Minus Ramsey. As there's a angry dragon rapidly
I'm not
approaching
gonna
your location.
stop anything from happening. We're not in a place to be able to have the right to stop it.
Fair enough. Quinn, anything you want to do? Prepare. At this point, Ramsey, you are awake, and you just hear the anger. It's some very heavy footsteps quickly approaching.
Hi.
Hey, they're not really a threat. There's no need to.
The door like swings open.
Before it happens, can I say that Ramsey makes a stealth check and rolls under the bed?
Sure, go ahead.
Lovely. This is the one thing that I would not have disadvantage in because he has advantage from his cloak. That does not mean it will be good.
I wanted to do anything, and then I just got cut off by numerous
It's okay.
people.
Oh,
so
I'm sorry,
I tried to answer.
Quinn. What do you want to do?
I wanted to step just outside the door to the guest room and close it behind me.
Oh, so you're gonna stand outside?
Mhm.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, you managed to squeeze your way underneath the bed, Ramsey. And yeah, Quinn, you can open the door and step outside. And you see Nathar quickly approaching. Much younger than the last time you saw him. Appears to be in his, like, mid-20s, maybe 25 or 26 at this time. probably his old, you know. And he kind of stops seeing you there. Ace squints as he looks you up and down. And he goes, so I assume you're one of the, people Zareth brought home? Oh.
Probably the easiest way to describe the situation, yes.
Fantastic. Who are you?
My name is Quinn, and I take it you're Zareth's brother?
Mm.
Nathar was your name? I think that name was mentioned.
Mm.
I never said that.
Did you mention me earlier?
No, not at all. How did you know his name?
I...
A little bit of the conversation downstairs. You're seemingly not the most subtle group, to be honest.
Maybe Iridessa said it earlier.
Maybe. I guess that makes sense. But
In that
I don't
case, they have good
think-
ears.
all right. So now you've been introduced.
Is this...
I heard you coming up the stairs and wanted to be the first to meet you as the, well, we don't necessarily have a leader of our group, but I try to kind of take that, management role, I suppose would be one way to describe it.
Okay, so you're the sane one of a group of strange time travelers, I take it?
Maybe this will be an easier interrogation once everyone's seated downstairs.
Time travelers kind of makes it sound like it was intentional.
I don't know anything about this magic bullshit. Whatever.
Oh, bullshit. Though, I
Victims
guess
of time manipulation,
Get your
perhaps
friends.
would be a...
Bring them to the... I don't know. The dining room, I guess. We don't exactly have a proper office space here for this sort of thing.
dining room. I take it that's where the cookies were yesterday when we arrived.
Zareth will just nod.
They...
Perfect. We'll be right down.
So, have a breakfast. Are you mad? You look bad.
I'm going to have some words with Iridessa. And Nathar begins to leave. Less angry. More disappointed. But...
Get dodged.
Sarah, if you can enter back into the guest room. With the rest of your friends.
But they know that they're supposed to meet downstairs. I don't need to disturb them.
Mm-hmm.
Ramsey slowly rolls out from under the bed. Where are we? It was...
Well, where is Emperor's Vale? When is probably a better question.
Aye. Zareth. That was Zareth. Aye.
Ramsey stands up for a moment and he hits his head a little bit.
Aye. Yeah.
Ramsey, the concussion was last night to get you back. Instead, Broadway, don't have a concussion now.
I had another thought. Is everything okay?
Yes. Yes.
Clumsy drow.
Again? Jesus Christ.
Again.
What's a Jesus?
Oh, not my reputation. Okay, Quinn. I will.
Ramsey stands up and straightens himself.
I will follow your lead, I suppose.
Well, we're supposed to meet Nathar downstairs.
Hey, I
Hey,
can't.
Ramsey, that name strikes fear into you. You know what happened last time you and Nethar were in a room together. How did you do?
You. Nithar is in. Nithar from the party.
Thankfully, he doesn't remember events from the 800 some odd years in the future.
This man stabbed me in the chest and then healed the wound, so my organs would continue to bleed. And okay, let's go.
Let's try to avoid that happening again. Just be pleasant. Don't lie to him. Unless he asks if you've met before and if he killed you.
Lie of
or
omission.
tried to kill
Yes.
you.
Yes.
But
I think you two just need to relax.
Okay.
I'm not really nervous personally. I think as long as we're honest and respectful, we should be fine. I'm more on edge about Ramsey's reaction, and that being easygoing and calm and such might not be so easy for some of us.
I am getting a lot of memories from 3 different people in this body right now. It is not a good morning.
I'll leave you to calm down. I'm just gonna leave now.
Yeah, they're in the key room, or dining room as they call it, but
This is a very
it's not much of a dining room for what I'm used to. So
yeah, whatever. You'd
Okay.
try eating out of a fire pit. It's gonna
you don't
leave.
even have a crystal chandelier.
I'm still not disguised. I'm just gonna go downstairs.
All right, come on, Ramsey, don't panic. I'll follow.
All right.
Ramsey will follow. Yeah.
You guys make your way downstairs. Ripley, you being the first one out, Nathar is kind of sat at like the head of the table. There is a sort of assortment of sort of like a scrambled egg, with like sausages, bacon, and hash browns for breakfast, as well as like sort of like there does appear to be sort of like a coffee available if you guys wanted that, or coffee or tea. But as you come down, Nathar's eyes kind of like raise from his plate and just look at you, Ripley. And there's like immediately this look of just confusion. He has never seen anything like you before. And you see he looks, and he kind of like looks to his right where Iridessa is sat. And she just goes, I think he's kind of cute, isn't he? And Nathar just is like, he looks genuinely stunned as you guys walked in. And then he just kind of shakes his head and just tries to focus on anything else in that moment.
See, I told you they were interesting.
G'day.
Good morning. You didn't tell me one of them was dog.
Not a dog?
the-
That's so rude.
Did talk about collecting us like puppies, so it's kind of fitting.
I mean, are you displeased with the way that I look? I can change this if you really want.
No, that's not a problem. Don't feel the need to do that.
No. Wait, I want to see this. How
Alright,
is it
I'll-
magical? Do you have a ring of disguise or something?
No, my people are kind of born this way.
I'm curious.
Oh, give me a second. It still hurts sometimes, and I'm just gonna stretch out back into and like shake and turn back and turn into my disguise form.
Zareth looks very, very disappointed.
Ta-da!
Nathar looks surprised. Okay, in all fairness, I didn't actually think he would do it. Alright. That was impressive. What's your name?
Name's Rypley. My kind doesn't technically exist yet, but we're
Doesn't
cold.
technically exist.
I have so many.
Yeah,
Are you...
my god Jaeger doesn't exist yet, but I think in this timeline. The nature butte Desma actually does. She kind of had a hand in our creation.
Interesting. So, how far in the future are you from? Apparently.
I mean, I'm not.
Some ideas.
Yeah, that
Really? I don't make it that long? That's unfortunate.
I'm not the person to really say. I don't know. It's complicated. I think we in our timeline, you and I aren't the closest in our little group, but it's still important to me.
I thought the little one said I was dead. I'm so confused.
Well,
So am I undead? Okay, that's kind of cool.
That's
I mean, I
not
studied
cool,
them for a
Sarah.
little while.
I don't
Zareth.
have the complete detail from what I understand. Your soul was put into a human body, and then you can't. Every time weird things would happen, more of you would come out.
I'm
You have
sorry.
your tail back now. Not when
I'm
we
sorry.
initially met.
Can we have a sidebar, please? Hi. Quick thing. Why are we giving so much information about the future?
Because they want to know.
Okay, cool. Okay, please continue.
Okay, so I'm currently corrupting another human's body. That sounds kind of dark.
I think that's kind of how it works. But he comes out sometimes.
Okay, what are...
I'm so confused. Am I actively killing another
I think...
Zareth, don't... They're...
It's fine. It's fine.
I think technically the cultists who performed the ritual to cause that whole situation were the ones to kill him. You're just a different variety of victim.
And to be fair, it's quite possible that he is just a reincarnation of you, and by killing him, you were awakened. It's very complicated.
Wait, reincarnation? So I am dead?
Okay.
Well, yes.
They're talking about 800 years in the future. There's plenty of centuries before then, Zareth.
Yeah, like...
You probably live at... I don't want to hear about this. Okay. Why are they in Emperor's Vale? And if they are from the future, I mean...
Well, it started by going into a different dimension that was in the same timeline as ours. And then from there, we got sucked in here.
Okay, so you entered Emperor's Vale borders without permission.
I mean, it's not like we had a choice. It was a really strong portal.
Okay.
Okay, did you create the portal?
No, a god did, right?
Okay, so you were sent here against your will by God.
Yeah. I don't think they knew it was going to end up here either.
Okay.
Arguably, we had the god's permission.
I mean,
Jay?
The three of us didn't choose to go through it. It kind of sucked us in. My brother and our timeline, you were strong enough to not get sucked in.
Well, at least from what we saw.
Yeah, they might be
down, and he's like massaging his temples as you guys are talking. By the way, he is totally disassociated at this time, and you just see Iridessa kind of leaning over and gently rubbing his back, as he doesn't. Whatever you are saying is not computing to him at all.
Oh, if we are doing introductions, hey, pardon me.
Yes, that should have been the first thing. I am so sorry. I got so excited about the information. Yes, introductions. Right. Just to go around. Us, people that live in the house, Zareth, Iridessa is the pretty lady, and the one who looks like he is contemplating his entire life is,
No,
Navarre.
just yours. Okay.
Wouldn't hurt me. Would you?
My name is
Yes.
Ramsey Novak, and it is a pleasure to meet you. I do apologize about the circumstances.
I don't put any blame onto the humans here, but they seem to know you, Zareth, whether it's you or some version of you. I'm not gonna think too hard about that. That's just gonna give me a headache.
If it
Yeah,
is any
fine.
consolation, we were just in an alternative universe.
No, that
So it
doesn't
is-
help at all.
What I'm trying to state is our future may not necessarily be your own.
Alternate realities.
fantastic.
Oh, what a
And
fascinating concept.
In the one that the place we were just at, I was dead.
True.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, and you
Interesting.
were married there. Congratulations.
Zareth is married. Oh, that would be. That's
Yeah, he
gonna
also-
be hilarious.
You make
Basically
it sound like I
adopted
am
my
not married.
brother as well.
Oh, that was very kind of you.
Okay. Well, in all fairness, I mean, who's the?
I had a
lucky-
kid? Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Aw.
I love kids.
Yes. It was pretty nice, actually. I'm a big fan of your, well, kind of son.
Well, I'm glad you have a happy future with your husband or wife.
Oh, I'm sorry. We didn't meet you in that one, by the way.
No, but we've
Well, have
We
you
know
met me from
who-
your timeline?
yeah.
Oh. You see, I mean, Lothar was kind of joking as he said that, and as you say, yeah, he kind of like gets a little serious and almost a little afraid. As his brow kind of furrows and he looks
Wait,
at you.
so you know Nathar in that timeline as well? That means he's still around? Oh my goodness, you lived so long, you old man.
Don't call me that.
Ancient.
I will say,
At an
you are
event.
doing quite well for yourself in that one, Nafar. But it is, well, I got to be honest. You do get more muscular. Please be prepared for that. You need new wardrobe.
Oh. Okay, that's something to look forward to.
It's more muscular? Life's not fair.
Oh, yes. No, you'll catch up one day, Zareth. I believe in you. It's,
Uh-huh.
as long as I have Iridessa and my family, I'm probably doing just fine.
That's a consolation. You get more books.
What would Nathar need with books?
No, you get more books.
Oh,
He
that
gets
makes much more
muscles.
sense.
You get books.
Oh, and there's Huh.
Unfortunately, we don't really. This is the first time meeting Kieran name you.
You do have a reputation. I don't know you, but something in the back of my head is telling me that you are very, very beloved.
No, thank you
get-
very much.
Idolized.
I guess it's nice to know things don't change.
What other interesting things could possibly happen in the future? What a thing to think about. I wonder if I make it onto the council.
Yes.
And unfortunately, at least the three of us, don't really. I mean, myself and Quinn, unfortunately, don't talk to you as much as Ramsey here and our other friend Holly, who's apparently still
I'll say for
asleep
the sake-
somehow.
Yeah, Holly had a very rough day. We'll say Holly's still asleep upstairs.
You two are a bit close. The three of you are a bit closer than us two, unfortunately, but you did save my life, actually.
Hey.
Oh,
I mean, throughout the time we've been together, you've kind of saved all of our lives. You also taught me Draconic.
Yes. You pulled me out of the fire multiple times, and I do mean literal fire and figurative
you all
fire.
sound like danger bandits. Are you alright?
Well,
Do
you
I
got
call
me in a few
someone?
of those dangers, but we're not going to talk about that.
I mean, with my whole nature, everyone assumes that I'm more of a mindless monster more than an actual sentient being.
But the masters never change, do they? That's unfortunate to hear. I'm so
But
sorry.
the city that I grew up in was very nature oriented, so they would quite intrigued when they found me when I was
Ooh,
young.
let me guess. You... Okay, I have a quick question, Caleb.
Mhm.
Would Nimith be the same, like, nature-loving...
Yep.
Yeah?
It's the same. Nibith has had very little change.
Oh,
In
let me
500
guess.
years.
You come from the peaceful Nimith. Is that where you're
Yeah,
from?
that is. Well, I wasn't born there. I was born a while
I could just hear you
from.
dropping the mic.
Yeah, so I was from. I think when I was roughly 11 is when I grew up there up until now.
Ooh, that's
Okay.
so wonderful. Nimith is such a wonderful place to visit. Oh, grow up. Everyone's so friendly.
And, I mean, I'm thankful that it was the closest place I was able to run away to after things that happened to me when I was very young.
Not to change the
I can only
subject.
imagine you've had an adventurous life. I'm so sorry.
Not to change the subject, but tragic backstories and greetings aside, how do you all suppose you get back to?
That is
reality?
That's a fantastic question.
Zareth, do you have any ideas how you're gonna help these people? Because I
You know I do not mess with Garnomancy.
well, you're gonna have to find a gold dragon who does.
I have one in mind. I just need some time to warm him up to the idea.
If you're thinking
Why,
about what I think you're thinking about,
Are you talking?
No.
Are you, what's his? Shit. What's his name? Socrates.
I don't know anybody by that name. Socrates. Do we know a Socrates?
Stephen.
I don't know what's
I think Stephen said it, but I think
Yeah,
It's Seska,
right. That's what it is.
isn't it?
You know Seska as well.
Oh yeah. Very nice man.
It was like one of the first people I think we actually met.
Nice.
So
that
the
right?
first who didn't want to kill us after we joined together.
Oh God, that dragon has a stick up his ass. I'm surprised you think he is so kind. That's
He also has the
hilarious.
son.
A
Oh,
son.
he's a child as well.
Wow. Okay.
I'd say he is a wife, but I think they're having some troubles.
Which is very good for. Never mind.
Oh,
Assuming it's good that parents get separated.
he's
I mean,
okay.
yours
Good
are.
for. Hey,
Oh.
first of
So
all,
am I.
Beneficial for outward parties.
yes, I would say it was a healthy choice, and they co-parent very successfully. They've been separated for quite some
I
time.
don't really care
That's
about
right,
Seska's parental life in the future. That I just think is funny.
Well, I
Dating
mean, in
life.
considering
I'm surprised he
who.
had a wife.
Oh,
I
oh
wonder-
no,
I
it was
wonder- I wonder
arranged.
who the
Jeez,
Temporos
he
get him
does
to
not.
marry.
Oh, yeah.
That's my question. Like,
Well, probably someone pretty high up in their respective.
it's probably one of the gemstones. I bet you.
I mean,
Maybe. Or another one of the high precious metals.
I really wish we could
Gold's
tell you
basically
more
as
about.
high as you get. Unless he really
Yeah.
fucks up, I could see him maybe marrying a copper or a bronze.
I mean, I wish we could tell you more about your pals, but unfortunately, in our timeline, getting here is quite difficult right now. It is.
Yes, we aren't really in that area. We've been jumping about quite a bit.
There's a lot of crazy nonsense happening back home in our main home.
Yes.
Crazy nonsense. Crazy nonsense like what?
Well,
I'm not sure if you really. Judging by all your reactions to everything that we've actually said, what we would say about what's happening in ours would probably put you into a heart attack.
Oh, come on.
Let's
Just one hint,
leave it-
please.
Let's just leave it at the nobles who pay their way into
Please.
power aren't the friendliest.
You don't have to tell me twice. Matthias just like casually sipping on his coffee.
I
wait
think
a
you're
minute.
being a little mean to the nobles. Sure, they're not the friendliest, but it's not like they're doing any active harm.
Well-
Did you just laugh?
I'm sorry for him.
Said, well,
We'll looks at Quinn. I mean, do we really want to tell him what happened?
Well,
No.
I bet whatever happens in the future, if Xerath's there, reincarnated or not, you know.
Besides, if
Yeah,
any
this is
nobles are
good.
acting up, I'm sure Barnard has covered.
Mm.
What
Hey,
do
You
maybe
know
by
he
then I'll
keeps his
be
court on a tight leash.
You'll be what?
maybe by then I'll be a higher guard. Being a footman is
Definitely.
fine,
I
but
bet you're the head of the guard.
well, I hope one day.
Well, all that said, we really do need some sort of time spell or
Right. No, I just give me some time, and I think I might be able to persuade Seska. Or at the very least, get the formula from him and attempt to do it myself. One of the two.
You could just make your own spell.
True, you can do
Again,
that.
I maybe it's embarrassing to say this, but I fell asleep in chronomancy class one too many times. Specifically, Jegg, the basics. So I don't mess with it ever.
Ah, well,
So if I have the instructions, I'll give it a shot. Absolutely. Specifically in this circumstance. But I need the instructions first. So I'm going to see if I can get the instructions from a very talented chronomancy wizard.
Do you think it would be more persuaded if you showed him the evidence of why you need it?
Well, I would attempt to do something like that if he wasn't so opposed to him. Outsiders. That's the correct word to use. Outside. He's not a fan of outsiders.
You can be persuasive.
You think I can be persuasive to hit? You are hilarious, Aaron God. Absolutely a riot. Has anyone told you that?
I mean, I don't think so.
I tried to tell him he's very funny and charming, and I care
I
about
don't
him.
think I've ever heard you say that in my entire months knowing you.
I think so. Like, maybe when I was a child, but there was probably too much other noise to hear it.
Oh, no.
Oh, more sad backstories.
No. Just a friend who wasn't very good at keeping things that were supposed to be in one piece.
Just like...
I see.
Sometimes that included his bones. But
Oh dear.
that doesn't really matter.
Iridessa kind of leans over, holding. You can see she's kind of like holding onto Nathar's hand with one, and she kind of leans over. She goes, "If you do need to leave the house, I can provide a help to cloak them. Of course, if you want."
Oh, my horn's not enough. I can just tell them I'm a dwarf dragon.
Well,
It might be easier to pass you all off as Dragon Ball.
yeah, with the... And then Nathar kind of goes, with the proper magic, I can see that. Dragonborns, they follow us around quite frequently, so... It's a...
Of course, the Dragon Kin. They're pretty common throughout.
Less heads would turn.
Besides, it's not like a lot of people actually pay attention to Dragonborn and Kobolds a lot of the time, so it should be a perfect disguise. But again, Well, if I get the spell and I cast it right there, you guys can go home immediately. Safer option would be going over to... Maybe I can sneak that? No. We shall figure something out. But it is up to you. Do you want to be disguised and come along for the ride, or would you be more comfortable staying held up here?
I feel like it's gonna get kind of boring around here. Just the three of us. There's only so much that can really happen.
Well, some say that boring is a safe option. But if you want to see the city a little bit, we could figure something out.
Oh.
I should probably not. Give me a second. I'm gonna revert.
So you're in your wolf form?
Yeah. I'd probably, if I'm gonna have the magic disguise of him here, might as well not have two at the same time.
Fair enough. Iridessa kind of quickly stands up, and she's just like, I'll get my disguise kit. And she kind of like quickly runs around the table, comes back later with the equivalent of like a wardrobe-sized suitcase.
We should probably see if he's available. He doesn't like me coming unannounced.
Thar just goes, can't you just message him? Cast sending or something.
It's what I'm gonna do. I'm just not gonna do it here.
Alright.
You told me before you don't like me talking at the table.
Fair enough.
Why were we having this conversation here?
Wrong type of talking friend. He doesn't like it when he can only hear one part of the conversation.
I feel
He's a
left
little
out.
paranoid.
See, this is why people don't say I'm funny, Ramsey.
No. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I think the joke of that you said before was hilarious.
We're getting
Just made Phil
you and
flatter and
Cora getting close. That is
Well.
quite hilarious.
Yes.
apparently.
Absolutely hilarious.
If Quinn has a million fans, then I'm one of them. If Quinn has one fan, then I'm back one. If Quinn has no fans, that means I'm dead. Win or lose.
I don't know
0
if this
hits.
is a bit
Or
that
10 hits. Good form or bad form. I will always support you, Quinn.
If I
How
have
did
zero
you? You have
fans,
such a
I'm
supportive
probably
friend.
dead.
Anyway, let's move on.
Oh dear. I'll be in the other room.
Seraph, you gonna message Seska?
Yep.
What do you say? Casting
Hey,
the sentence because hey, phones don't work. They don't exist yet.
That is true. So at this point, I think
Shit,
he's
phone's
still
dead.
using his last name rather than his first name.
It's up to you. At this point, I would say at this point, you guys are like friends, but it's like everything is very low key.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Ethel Tucker, do you have a moment to talk?
The response is very quick, but you do hear a sure.
So I had a question specifically about cryomancy. I was hoping you could help me with.
What's your interest in chronomancy all of a sudden?
If I hypothetically needed to send someone forward in time, how difficult would that be? And what would the hypothetical structure of the spell look like? Hypothetically.
Well, how many hypothetical years do you need to jump?
Hypothetically 800.
It's 500. I don't know where you got 800 from.
Sorry, 500. Hypothetically, yeah, 500.
But I thought you said this was.
This is. Oh wait,
Because
yo, this
500
is
plus-
800. Sorry.
Yeah, it was 500 plus 300.
Caleb doesn't even know this
300
anymore.
years
It's fine.
before
It's 800.
Calamity, which is 500
yeah,
years
but
before.
anyway, the same
Technically
the
800.
response is the same as you just hear Seska on the other side. Just 800. Why, in the God's name, would you need to go 800 years in the future?
Hypothetically, some time travelers fell here by mistake? Hypothetically, of course.
Seraph, I don't think we can dance in hypotheticals for this. What have you done?
You assume I did something.
When do you not do something?
That is hurtful. I did nothing. I was merely in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yes, you were. Several times.
Help.
Lucky I
Please.
don't have any classes today, so... Do you want to come over?
Sure. I can do that. Am I hypothetically bringing the time travels?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Just be quick and do not make a scene on the way here.
No scenes. Got it. Yes, I will get there without no scene. 100% doable.
There isn't a response at that point.
Zareth will enter back into the room. So, good news. He's agreed to help. Bad news, I think he's mad at me.
You won't stay
I'm
mad for
sure
long.
it won't last that long.
His help won't last that long, or he won't be mad at me long.
Him being mad.
I don't know. I feel like his grudges last a pretty long time. Like, there was this
Sure.
one time that I accidentally broke his favorite pencil.
I mean,
Tell you it won't last 800 years.
Sorry, what?
I mean, I'm sure when we hopefully get out of your hair that you guys will patch this all up.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. That's patching things up. Anyway, we should get you ready. How are the transformations coming along here, Odessa?
Oh, I'm just waiting for you to say the word.
Oh, I thought we were working on it already. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I'm pretty much already done. Do you guys have any preferences for colors? Scaled colors, to be more
I mean, I
exact.
guess sticking with what I already got.
How about Ruby? For you, Ripley? I think, Quinn? How about we do, Emerald? Is that right? And, for you, Mr. Ramsey,
Yes.
What about Lapis?
Lapis. I like blue. Thank you.
She kind of rubs her hands together, casting a altered version of seeming onto all of you, and all of you are quickly transformed into Dragonborn of those colors. Still the same height and build. You are still wearing the same outfits you were wearing before, and you have all of your armor weapons still equipped on you, and very easy to access. Just physically, you've been, like, polymorphed. There is a wisdom save, but if you just let it happen, then you don't need to make any saves. Iridessa looks to you, and she's like, perfect. Okay. Hope these will only last, about an hour, so make your way now. I'll see you when
Yes, we should get going, because I think the walk is...
Oh, I guess you guys can't fly.
No, it's fine. I can just teleport. We can get that fast.
Can you teleport? Because in our time... Oh, wait, never mind. Yes.
You think I forget how to teleport? That's embarrassing.
It's the body that you're in gets really tired when you do too much magic.
That
Or
sounds
when
like
you do
actual
really
hell.
strong magic.
Mm-hmm.
So teleporting is something that really knocks you out.
Oh, goodness.
Hey, you know what? Maybe in 800 years you can find a solution to that. A little potion or something.
Oh, But you're right. Well, now that I know that it's a possibility that can come up, I can work towards not ending up in a human body.
Exactly.
If anything changes, then this just means that
All right.
there's a completely different timeline from the one we're trying to get back to, right?
We'll say
It's-
for the sake of things, Holly's down with you. She's a Drake. She's Jade, Dragonborn.
So you just turned her into a Drake.
No, she's a Dragonborn, as well. It's shorter, but still Dragonborn. Also Green Dragonborn. And so Iridessa turns her as well. It's like, well, it's been very, very fun meeting all of you. You have been such a enthusiastic crew. Feel free to come back anytime. I mean, or in the future, 800 years from now. I will do my best to remember you.
I appreciate it.
Are you ready?
Yes. Yes, thank you.
Thank you for your wonderful work, Iridessa. I shall see you later.
See you. She kind of waves. And Thar kind of gets up. He doesn't wave or anything, but he kind of just gives you guys a nod and a smile as you guys are whisked away. As Sarah, if you teleport.
See you in the future.
I'm gonna whisper to Quinn, we're totally gonna kick his ass. We're totally gonna kick his ass when we get back.
I told him that he was buffer than he actually was. He's going to be overconfident. I can feel it.
Wait, you lied?
No, he was. He was incredibly buff. But you know.
My poor brother.
I can lie to myself. It was astounding. Anyway, let's go.
Do you two not get along in the future?
Well, I've got to be honest. He did crash.
I don't think that's the right word. They seem pretty damn invited to that whole thing.
I meant, yeah.
Oh, you picked a fight with him. That makes much more. Why would you pick a fight with
He
your
was being
boss?
mean to you. He was being mean to you.
Like, brotherly mean?
We should go.
How mean do brothers get mean in
Rip-
these 800 years?
Ripley looks at the camera.
He punched me really hard there.
Everybody with fucking brother issues in this goddamn fucking table right now. Everybody at this goddamn table has brother issues.
Yeah.
Technically, I don't have brother issues. I have issues with my brother's deity.
Exactly.
You tell yourself that.
You just keep telling yourself
Anyway.
that, bud.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
As far as I know, it's true.
Oh,
Fair
my
enough.
God. All right. You guys are teleported directly into, or do you want to do outside, Zareth?
Or gets
That's gonna
kinder to do it
depend
outside.
which will Saska be less pissed about.
Probably outside.
He's already mad.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
At least in Zaref's mind, he's already mad.
I agree with Dante. Outside sounds good.
Outside.
Outside.
All right, you outside the Ethrentora estate, which is you very quickly realize just a castle. It is a enormous golden kind of like almost like this sort of white kind of like almost like it's a very like sandstone limestone kind of like building with hundreds of golden details and literally gems embedded into the walls and around the windows of this literal castle that you are approaching. As you are teleported out in front, there are fountains being tended by kobold servants that you can see running around the gardens. Most of the kobolds appear to be of yellowish to like yellowish orangish sort of scale colors, gold colors, but
Let's see if we can
kobolds aren't
avoid.
super common.
Let's see if we can avoid the master of the house. He definitely does not like me.
And as you're there, you see the door very slowly swing open, almost like it is being opened and presenting you to the interior as you guys begin to approach the sort of walk up the dozens or so front steps up into this large estate. And inside the very large and well decorated, though like richly empty estate is in the main hall. The doors open for you, and you see standing maybe 30 or so feet from the door a very, very young looking Seska. Appears to be only about like 18 or 19. Dressed in very fine, very flowy kind of material. And he looks, and you see, normally when you see him, he's kind of in this, he dresses very casually, but he looks extravagant. And as the door opens for you, you can see for a second he opens his mouth to say something to Zareth, and then his eyes kind of drop to the rest of you. And you see him just kind of like squint. I'm assuming those are your time travelers.
Yeah, yep, they
Do you
sure
again,
are.
Siska?
Ugh! You just...
I do apologize. What do you prefer?
If you must identify me, you call me Ethrentora.
Efrintora.
Ethrentora Seska.
Zareth will lean down to these guys and give a quick explanation. For a lot of precious metal families, it is customary to use the clan name rather than birth name. It's seen
My
as
apologies.
impolite unless you're close friends, which in this case we are not.
Not even you.
Hmm?
Not even you.
No, I am a commoner. I am not permitted to use birth name.
Intriguing.
You're
Zareth, come. He just
yes.
kind of, he says very quickly. As you can see, his head kind of turns, as you can see his like ear just twitches, he hears something. And then kind of like the doors quickly close behind you. And you can see Seska immediately kind of turning and moving down the hall, as there's a sort of air of immediately, like at first he was kind of unsure about this. Here's you explaining this. And then before there is that sort of sense of he cut you off there, for a very specific reason. If anybody besides Zareth wants to insight, actually including Zareth, if you want to insight that.
And I, because you said that I don't. Can I try to hear the same thing that he?
With your keen hearing, it just sounds like some just shuffles of footsteps a few rooms away.
Okay.
Do you want? I'll let everybody roll an insight check.
I'll still do insight, but I just wanted to know about.
Yeah,
I kind of want to fail this.
Roll. See if you fail this.
19. That's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's better than I got.
Ramsey, what did you get?
Oh, so Ramsey had to roll with disadvantage, so that would be a 5.
Didn't you sleep though?
Yes, but that just
Wouldn't
means
that
my
go
speed
down?
isn't.
Yeah,
They still have 1 point of.
Our
Wait,
speed-
that's 2.
Yeah, our
okay, so,
speed
yeah.
is no longer halved, but we still have disadvantage on
Yeah.
on
Alright, 5.
ability checks.
Quinn,
Yeah.
11, you can't figure it out. Rypley, though, you look at Seska, and you realize he cut Seska off. Sarah, if you kind of... I'll
Can I say I fail this?
I'm gonna give something slightly to you. I'll say this. Ripley, you... I'll say this. For Zareth, you realize that was an odd place to be cut off at, because you were just explaining the rules, but the moment you brought up being a commoner, you were cut off, and you're like, that was a weird place, whatever, and you don't think too much about that. Ripley, you pick up on the fact of, though Seska's face is very cool and calm, and it's very obvious that he is being trained to not show any expression or emotion at all. As Zareth goes, no, I'm not, I'm just a commoner, I'm not permitted to say, that you get the sense of there's like a slight bit of pain in his eyes as he, and you gotta get the sense that even in this timeline, this Seska thinks of Xerath as a friend. He just doesn't admit it.
When we're walking in, we'll just like kind of put his arm out wherever around Xerath and just like pat him.
Siska kind of takes you down a couple of halls through a handful of different colored studies and other rich people environments before taking you into a small closed off library kind of towards the back of the estate. Siska, once you're all inside, Siska closes the door and you can see kind of quickly seals it with some sort of magical lock or alarm. And he kind of sighs and takes a breath, and he goes, "So, would you be so kind and explain exactly what's going on?"
Well, maybe they should explain. They know a little bit about what's going on with them more so than I do.
Sarah, why does the master of the house not like you?
What?
That is a great question. I'm guessing it's because I'm a commoner.
Oh, I thought maybe he was homophobic.
In the quickest... Rypley just raises his hand. In the quickest way of saying this, we were doing some chores on our timeline. We got sucked into a different timeline, a parallel one that had different events happening. That was a lot different from what happened in our timeline, and then we got sucked in here from that other different timeline, which was kind of on the same pace as ours, but now we're in the past. Does that make sense?
And are you sure this is the past of your timeline and not...
No, we don't, actually.
We've experienced quite a bit recently. Not long ago, I want to say weeks from our perspective, we experienced a time bubble in which we were in this artificial area that was revisiting a certain point in time. We performed a test and we know that it did not affect our present. We have yet to perform such a test here.
Well, you did bring up a good point. Maybe we should test to see if you're from this reality or if you're not. I wonder if your magical signature could...
I mean, they'd definitely screw up a bunch of shit with all the things that we said back at your house, wouldn't it?
Like how I die?
You die?
Apparently.
Everyone dies eventually.
No, you came back.
Yeah, we're from almost 1,000 years in the future. It's okay.
Okay, first rule of time travel is you don't talk about your reality.
That's what I thought, but I think we're kind of waiting for something.
I was very persuasive.
Yes.
And also, we didn't really want his brother to kill us.
Yes, he is quite a mountain of a man.
I would never kill you. He's a sweetheart.
He's the equivalent of a giant bear.
I like bears.
We know, buddy.
Hey! Okay, sorry.
Wait, what? I didn't catch that.
I'm gay. Please continue.
Oh, interesting fact to tell us.
Well,
glad you felt so comfortable.
In our reality, bear is a term
we know
for
what bear.
a certain... Okay, well, I wasn't sure. I'm from 800 years in the future. Although it doesn't make sense that you would know, but...
Oh, I see. Is this that slang that's been going around? I'm so confused.
Yes.
Do you not? Never mind.
I don't get
suppose having your nose stuck in a book.
What's that supposed to mean?
It means you like to read.
People.
You talk to me.
There's nothing wrong with
people.
Liking to read.
Yes, I suppose I am people. Do you have any other people you'd like to go out and see aside from me?
Well, I feel like a leg's a strong word.
good point. All right.
But there's Kovo. I like Kovo.
Your Kobo. Okay, never mind. We could talk about us after this. Does any one of you have a item? Magical would be best. Either produced, created by yourselves, or
From our time.
from your timeline. Yes.
Are you gonna break it?
No, I just need to identify it.
Well, I do have one.
I'll unequip one of my the bleed claws.
I have one that Kali made.
And Ramsey will unequip his leg.
Goodness, it comes off.
Oh my god!
Just gonna hand over the die.
Well, no, but this is... Listen, if anything does happen,
Oh my
You and I-
goodness! How did you
you-
lose your leg?
Okay.
I can
Don't
put
worry
it back.
about that.
Yes.
Don't
Yes.
don't worry about that. You might hyperventilate if you knew.
What do you mean? Back off.
Don't
Oh my
don't worry about
God.
it.
Zach, did you cut off someone's leg in the future?
No. There was no cutting, no blades
How
involved.
horrible in the future.
Oh, Sarah.
Yeah, I'm gonna hand over the fake die.
Okay.
Ramsey puts his leg back.
Okay. What do you guys want to give Seska? Because at this point, Seska is like looking at Zerf, just being like, "Oh, don't cry. I'm sorry. I was teasing you."
Aw, so cute. Yeah, I just insist on handing over the die.
I'm giving one of the claw attachments.
Ramsey switches to his coat instead.
But that's really sharp. Be careful.
Noted. All right. He'll take each item that you give him, and kind of lay it out in front of him. And he kind of
So
sits
we
down.
find out one of us is from a different reality than we thought.
Wouldn't that be interesting? What's your coat?
It's the void coat.
Void coat. Where did you get the void coat?
It's my funny little stealth thing. It was my coat, and then that funny entity slipped into it.
Right, that's what it was. Okay, right. Sorry, I forgot about that. Yes. Okay, because I was like, I have to make sure I know what that is. Perfect. All right. You can see Saska kind of kneels down, and oddly enough, you see him pull out what looks to be like this very elongated, almost guitar. As he kneels in front of these three objects. You see Seska kind of quickly and very, very gently pluck a few strings, playing this sort of vibrating melody over the items. As you can see, each of them begin to glow and kind of shift with this sort of bright, kind of silvery gold kind of color. But Ramsey's coat is like a kind of much, though it is similar, but it is much deeper, like much more silver than it is gold in comparison to the fake dye and the claws. You can see Seska kind of looks a bit confused. But he squints and he goes, Seraph, do you mind casting something?
What do you need me to cast?
Whatever you feel like it. I just need I need a baseline.
Oh, yeah, sure. No, that would
Disintegrate.
burn something. I don't know if I should use that one.
Seraph,
Hey.
please. Anything will do.
No, wait, don't do that one, please. Hey, please? No.
Something not.
What about
If I have to be specific.
what was that one spell? Thrognar, I believe it was.
You want me to cast Thrognar?
How do you know what?
It's a base. Well, we know Seraph.
No.
And
Fair enough.
he uses it quite well.
That he does.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll just. What did I?
What are you gonna cast?
I just realized all the spells on here are destructive.
Fair.
A Seraph opens his spellbook and then just kind of winces.
That's what I get for not changing it. Like the lower level spells.
If you want to, like, right now,
I'm actual.
like, pull a lower level spell from your spellbook, feel free to. Like, just, if it's in your wizard spellbook, I'll let you cast it right now.
Alright. He'll just do like a 5 familiar. That's friendly.
Mm-hmm. And you summon Koi. A little dog.
That is strange.
What's strange?
You haven't met Koi yet.
What do you mean? Oh, is my familiar?
No, in the future we meet Koi. You meet the original Koi. We meet a dog with a sword, and you want the dog to come home with us, but the dog runs away. So you make a new Koi out. Well, I guess you did come up with the name. Oh, maybe that's why you like them so much.
I've
Interesting.
always liked dogs.
I believe what Ramsey is suggesting is that you wanted that particular dog because it reminded you of your familiar.
I guess. I haven't really thought about it.
Yeah. You always are an animal lover. Every timeline, it seems.
So wrong with that?
Seska's spell kind of comes to a close, and he sets the kind of lute to the side. I don't remember what it's called. You wrote it down once, and
It's a Chinese instrument.
I know. Don't remember. Yeah, I know. See, I know what it looks like. I do not know what its name is.
It was in the book you recently read.
You think I've retained that information? It started with an S. That's all I got.
It did not start with an
Shamisen?
S. It's starting with a Q.
Never mind. Did not retain this information, as you can tell. But I know what it looks like. So, but he kind of sets the guitar to the side. Well, good news or bad news if you've already fucked with the timeline enough. This is your past. Our future, I suppose. What exactly? Which, it makes it easier to send you back to where you are. However, I'm going to need a lot of magical energy to make it happen.
Like multiple dragons? Or
I hope not.
that would make things complicated.
I might need your help, though.
Oh, I'd be confident to help you out, I suppose.
I'm surprised you're so enthusiastic about this.
I am interested in the fact that there's something weird going on.
Yes, but the last time I tried to get you to help me with Chronotoji magic, you rolled on the floor, groaned.
Well, in this particular sense, it was not my fault that something got fucked up. So, I'll take it.
I feel like it is. Maybe not you now, but...
This wasn't my fault. I refuse to take responsibility for this.
You are the only one amongst these people who seem to know you. Who aren't...
I'm framed, I'm telling you, framed!
Yes. Tell that to yourself 800 years in the future. Uh-huh.
I'm very well styled.
In all fairness, from our experiences, I do doubt that it was our Zeraph's fault.
Oh, fine. Siska just kind of... You see, he just rolls his eyes.
Is this where you kiss and make up? I'm kidding.
What? You are full of jokes today, young Quinn.
Well, I see he's the fun one.
Right, he's got so many jokes.
I hope we get along in the future. If I'm still around. I guess I'd probably
allowed to answer that question.
So, never mind. I don't want
Sounded
to
like
know.
you were still around, and it sounded like you do very well for yourself.
Good.
Happy marriage,
Really?
child.
I can say,
Really?
well, I can say with certainty that you have not stabbed any of us in our future thus far.
Hmm.
Am I allowed to say that without getting in trouble? Big enough?
Well, Seska's never really been a stabber,
No,
or like
more of the
fire
master.
arrows.
Yes, flaming arrows, master manipulator. I could get away with a lot of things.
You
my God,
sound
are
very
you
proud of that.
I am. What? Being a good liar is what allows you to get ahead at court. It's not a bad thing.
See, there's so many jokes I want to make, but well, you're one of those people who doesn't like fucking with the timeline and talking about the future and all that, so I can't make my jokes.
Well, I don't care about that. Tell the joke. Say it, funny man. Say it.
I was going to say, you are such a good liar that you pretended to be straight for quite some time.
Straight?
Oh, that's
Well,
right. You do have a wife in the future. Congrats.
What?
Yeah. Like,
So I don't
well,
have a husband? I have a wife
Well-
instead?
it's a complicated situation. You're not exactly together.
So
You're
my wife is dead.
no, she's
No,
alive and
you
well.
have a wife.
I don't.
Well-
What if I don't want a wife?
Well, that's the good news is you don't maintain a wife.
Why would I get married?
Sometimes
mind.
things are
Okay.
arranged.
No, I know how things
Well,
are
you started asking
arranged.
questions.
I'm very aware about how our draconic society works. And that makes...
Wait, do I get a partner? And he looks over to Quinn, very excited.
Well, I mean-
Seska is looking at you intently.
I mean, you die, so this
Oh.
version of you, it doesn't really matter. But the version that I know has seemingly has a very lovely male draconic partner who co-parents a child.
Together?
It's a very roundabout way to say I'm a side chick.
No, because it was an arranged marriage.
Doesn't change being a side chick.
No,
Yeah,
no,
you know
because
what? Looking at my life, that makes sense.
No, because um well, let's just say that this partner isn't exactly keen on having a wife and would prefer to have a husband. I don't know if this seems familiar to you, but
Got it?
Seska looks to you, Quinn, and he's immediately figured it out. And he looks to Zareth. And Quinn, roll an insight check for me.
absolutely, that is what I last rolled, I believe. Yeah, same modifier.
This man looks pissed the fuck
No,
off.
no, I'm using my 69.
You can also technically use your fate die, even though. Alright, 22. He looks like he's trying to act annoyed, but you can tell that he's excited. The idea that he and Zareth, like, he's already figured out that, oh my god, that means me and Zareth are together. Like, you can tell that he's figured it out, and there's excitement there, but he's trying to act so annoyed over it as he gets up and kind of begins to draw a large magic circle onto the ground of this large study.
Noted. I don't think Quinn has anything to respond to that observation.
Yeah, Seska doesn't say anything. He starts working. Well, Seska goes, if you have any more questions about the future, or past, I guess, now would be the time to ask them. Zareth.
Oh, I have so many questions, but there's not enough time. So,
This is gonna take me a while.
well, I don't know. Did you guys have any questions about the past? I feel like if I've been traveling with you, I probably told you everything already. But maybe there's something I missed. Well, that is dead silent. Okay.
We'll I might get killed for this question, but do you have feelings for each other yet?
What?
It's Seska immediately dares glaring
Can
at
I make like a dex attack to cover like a Quinn's mouth before he finishes the sentence? Is that something I can do, or is it out in the air?
Make a dex. Go ahead, roll a dex check. And Quinn, you can roll a dex as well. Roll just a dex check to try and avoid this.
Right. I forgot this seraph is clumsy as fuck. That's a 10.
Quinn, you managed to like just lean out of the way as Seraph comes diving at you. Seska kind of pauses for a moment of what he's drawing, and then kind of doesn't look over and just keeps drawing his magic circle. And he's going to pretend like he didn't hear you.
Oh my goodness. I know that you like to be funny, Mr. Quinn, but maybe refrain from asking inappropriate questions. Going forward, maybe. I would like to keep my head.
I mean, the fact that neither of you are willing to give a direct answer kind of speaks volumes.
Please don't speak so loud.
Oh, was I right about the Master of the House being homophobic?
Why are you doing this? Hey, why are you doing this?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, they liked my jokes. This is the first time someone's thought I was funny.
I need to be a better friend to you. Okay.
Also, it's the only thing I can really think of to ask, and since Zareth won't ask questions about the future, it fills the silence.
That is fair.
I just wanted to make sure that it was an equal exchange. That's all I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, regretting
Funny
that now, aren't you?
questions. No, certainly.
Yes, definitely humorous in intent.
That is an odd tone you take.
Is it?
But I didn't know any better. I'd say you're being sarcastic.
What? Me sarcastic?
I wouldn't put it past you. You are a bard.
Someone with the flair for the dramatic being sarcastic? No, that's ridiculous.
Okay, now you're just making fun of me.
Are there any more questions you guys want to ask in this time?
In the spirit of equivalent exchange, it's your turn to ask a question. If you have any.
Oh, what to ask? Ask about how the new species of creature comes about. That could be fascinating. If you're comfortable, of course, explaining that, Rypley. I totally understand if that's not something you want to talk about.
No, I can talk. I can talk about it. Well, it's I don't remember. I don't really know exactly. It's fairly. And we haven't really been. It's a bit complicated. I don't fully remember when we started coming about, but from the history of my parents would always tell us is one day Jaeger and Desma gave just plain wolves the ability. They kind of started. It's a weird evolution thing. Just one day they blessed a group of wolves with the gift of knowledge, and slowly they started to evolve more sentient. It's kind of like the way that humans evolved, right?
How fascinating.
Wait,
And then we at a certain age, we are given the ability to disguise ourselves as any kind of form we choose, and most of my clan went with half-elven forms. There's a handful of others that some prefer human. I heard there's this big group of them that some of them actually disguise themselves as half-orcs.
Fascinating. And this is so you're able to go into humanoid territory and
Yeah, it's how we've been hidden for so long up until now.
so you do similar things to dragons to blend in with
Yeah.
mortal creatures.
I mean, our eyes are the biggest giveaway most of the time.
Eyes. Are you unable to mask it?
Unfortunately, no. Without, like, an actual disguise magic spell, that's something that, for a lot of us, sticks out.
Oh,
I
it's a
mean-
natural ability. How fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, well, that, and most of the time we can smell each other within, like, a 10-foot radius. It's pretty... We have very, very good scent and hearing.
My goodness, how impressive.
if I may, I have a question, Ripley. Just to be clear, you said who blessed you, your ancestors, so to speak?
The nature goddess and Jaeger both together.
I believe
Which is
his name
why-
is Desma, right?
Yeah, if I'm correct.
So, forgive me if I am confused, but Jaeger and Faith are not especially old. Does that mean that for example, your parents did not age at the same rate that you do now? That they were, or that they at the time
Well,
did not have?
I don't think my parents were like the first generation.
Interesting.
But well, Jaeger and Fate spawned roughly at the same time, from what they've both told me.
Yes.
But through the means of the way gods work, Jaeger was able to gain recognition and followers, unlike Fate up until now.
Yes.
Which is why
New gods.
he looked down on them for so long. Because
I
they...
suppose-
Stable, you bells must. What did it fall to say?
Please go on. Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of the whole thing.
Okay.
No, it's not like we're the first, like, sentient race in Caldura. We're kind of just a little bit after most normal people moved in. But again, no one really... Once we're able to disguise ourselves, no one really looked past it until, some people did actually discover us. And you all know how that went.
From what your stories seem to be, not well.
Oh, there's still a lot of people out there that enjoy hunting for more for less than savory means.
Oh, so there's more of those people around.
You know, the people that kind of do it just because. Unlike myself, who the reason I personally hunt in nature is to keep things balanced, make sure that not
For necessity,
You know.
I would hope. Sustenance.
Oh.
Desires.
well
Reasonable request.
well Jaeger's law states that any time you take from nature you need to give something back. And that when you take, you don't take too much.
Makes sense.
But then there are some people that don't follow that law.
Wouldn't I know it?
No, unfortunately, there's a lot of people that are still not great.
It's a shame to hear the world does not get better.
If I might, I do have another question for both of our esteemed draconic hosts. If you were to, say, teach someone draconic, what's a word that you would omit from your lessons?
Omit? In what way? What context? There are some words with high meaning that you should be careful with and not speak freely.
I just...
That doesn't mean those won't be taught. At least not fun.
I just think it would be funny if there's any words that you would refuse to teach to confuse future or our Zareth by knowing them.
Do you mean like swears?
It could be swears.
Okay.
No, I don't think I would admit any swears. I would be careful about cultural words, but that's really it. And it's not like they wouldn't be taught, they'd be taught eventually, but you would need to know the meaning behind them in case you accidentally make a promise to someone you can't keep.
Well, do you want to help us prank your future self? Like, we could do something.
The words that come to my mind, you shouldn't say to future me.
Fair enough.
But I guess the word I probably wouldn't teach would be, and he'll like write it down. Like he'll pull out his little quill and he'll write in the air. The word is Razvium.
Is there a rough translation for that word?
Oh, well, I guess the closest common equivalent would be that of treasure. But when you're referring it to a living person, it's kind of a promise.
Like a...
You say this to someone you plan to be with forever, be it a romantic or platonic context. Again, you don't say this to just anyone. So maybe don't use it as a prank word. Could be a little too hurtful.
Alycia, above table, can you write that down, please?
Jegg's like, gay thoughts, gay thoughts, gay thoughts.
Hey, I'm sorry. This was Quinn's question, but it very quickly has become...
Ramsey
like, writes that down in his notebook, actually.
Canonically, Ramsey's taking fucking notes.
There, that's the word.
Razvium, yeah.
Razvium. So, again, unless you actually mean to be there forever, not cut the person out of your life. It's kind of a forever thing. Don't just say that to anyone.
So, in what... How would it be used in a sentence? Would it be like calling someone that word? Or would it be like a I, that word you, or
Well, it can be used in many different contexts. Usually, it's referring to someone as Rasdian. That is who they are to you. You could use it in replace a nickname or their name or. Yes.
so would you only have one Rasvim, or could you have multiple platonic Rasvims as well as romantic?
You can have multiple Rasdians. I have one right now. My brother.
Oh.
And he kind of like looks over to like Seska to like ask if to like see if he has permission to admit that he said that to Seska.
Siska's very focused on his magic circle, but the conversation has piqued his interest.
Because I imagine he's said it already.
Yeah, at this time you absolutely.
Well, he doesn't know if he has permission.
Siska kind of looks to you, looks to your time traveling friends, and the fact that there's nobody else around. And Siska just goes, "It's fine."
I have.
So you have a familial and a romantic, or
I'm not really sure that it needs to be a label put on it in any particular sense.
just someone that, in any way that you're both comfortable with, you plan to be with forever?
Yes. That's right. I guess another thing to keep in mind is just because somebody is yours, it doesn't mean that you are theirs. So do be careful for that.
So would this other person said it back, or? If you don't mind my asking. If it's too personal, I understand.
I am my brother's Rasvin.
And the other?
He gets like a look.
Seska, has Seska said it at this point?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, cool. I'm like, where are we in the timeline? Seska
has never said it while Zareth was alive.
Okay, fair enough. Seska kind of looks down. There's a noticeable like flush of like embarrassment. As he just continues to draw like sigils into the floor.
Oh, this conversation sure got tense. Perhaps we should change the subject.
Well, if it's any consolation, just because they haven't said it doesn't mean they don't feel it. Obviously, I can't speak on their behalf, but at least I know people that fell in love with someone but were too afraid to admit it, even if the other person admitted it first.
You seem to know a lot for a half-blood.
For what?
I'm sorry, what the fuck?
Seska.
I'm just being honest.
I'm sorry, can you repeat yourself, please?
You're
is that
Sonic lineage, aren't you? He was referring to the fact you weren't a full.
Is this referring to the whole Dragonborn discuss? Others still active? I look at my friends to see if they're still active.
They probably faded away maybe 30 minutes ago.
What are you talking
you guys
about?
Have been here
No,
for a while.
we're not talking about your disguises. Mr. Erengard, did you not know?
It's obvious. You wear it on your face practically.
Oh no, those horns are part of a magical, lingering magical effect. They have nothing to do with.
Yes, the lingering magical effect of a draconic bloodline. Ooh.
Oh.
You might be saying it a bit lightly, Seska.
Listen,
No, it was a prank in university that went wrong.
Sure.
lasted longer than it was supposed to. That's
20-something odd years.
You're saying that
No,
you were a
it's only
prank on your
been
mother in high school?
I was
Oh, poor boy.
Oh. He's clueless. It's okay.
I think you should be a bit kinder to my friend.
I'm simply confused. There's no draconic lineage within my family. At least not known.
Sasha
Certainly.
looks to Zareth and then back to you, kind of with the the is this guy for real kind of expression.
Well, maybe his parents never told him. It's possible. Be nice.
So there's a dragon hiding themselves somewhere, pretending
It
to
wouldn't
be
be
a
the
human.
first time.
True, but we only do it when it's necessary for our safety. People hunt
Well,
us.
maybe they're a recluse. Some come every so often.
A recluse doesn't have half-human children.
Maybe it was unexpected.
Is it possible that the type of magic that was used as, I was...
Oh, that has nothing to do with the magic cast on you, dear friend. This isn't your bloodline.
Well, it's because I have two biological mothers, so I wasn't... there was magic involved in...
Well, we're able to tell that you're of draconic lineage as easily as we're able to tell that Mr. Novak over here is of drow lineage. Though slightly unfamiliar of which branch. Or that...
Oh.
Let me
if
help
I
you.
can make a guess, judging by the shape of the horns and probably some kind of metallic dragon. Now, with no identifiable scales, it's hard to say.
Maybe the magic could be a clue.
Yeah, if you let me sample your blood, I could probably figure it out.
I don't think we'll be around long, well, unless you made sure to remember for future self, but...
Yeah, good point.
Wait. If you do know us in the future.
And you never mentioned anything.
Why would I mention it? I'm a terrible secret keeper.
Yeah, frankly. No offense, but not the best. That doesn't change.
You mentioned that the horns weren't around all the time. You weren't born with them?
No, at all.
Was there anything that happened to you recently? A growth spurt? A surge of magical energy or anything that happened to you?
I mean, I did get like an inch taller, but it happens sometimes. At my age, it's not the most common, but it's...
Aren't you a middle-aged?
Mm-hmm.
No, wait, that's not right.
Middle age?
Was this
do I look middle... Ramsey, do I look middle-aged?
No, you have to understand.
Has my skincare not been working?
It is working very well. I've been copying it.
For a human, you have a good 40 years left in you. You're practically almost dead.
Sorry, humanoid title names are really confusing. But then again, you are of draconic lineage, so maybe that's not the same?
No, good point.
It only depends on how far back it is. Perhaps a grandparent? Great-grandparent?
Oh, that means this is much deeper than we were expecting.
Well, if the name Erengard doesn't mean anything to you, then that would be the biggest clue.
No, but she mentioned you had two mothers.
Yes.
What's the other one's last name? Maybe this will ring a bell.
Rikos?
Does this last name mean anything?
It doesn't actually ring a bell to either of you, I should say that Seska or you. Dracos doesn't mean anything.
Wait.
Hmm.
Wait, I'm sorry. Your other mother's last name was Dracos?
Yeah.
Well, just Drake and Dragon. That's like...
It sounds like your mother's been using a fake name to hide her real identity.
Oh my
Be
god.
nice.
It's not even a good name to begin with.
Oh my
Sorry.
god.
It's a little cheesy, but like maybe it's genuinely not. Stop being mean.
I'm sorry, I'm not.
It's possible. If it's farther back, it's possible that she didn't know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. That's
Well, maybe it's just a coincidence that sounds like a joke to you.
A very good joke, if any.
Well,
Oh.
I'm sorry.
yeah, allow me to explain. Draco is a very common dragon humanoid alibi last name.
Yes, if I were to go into a...
Kind of like Jane Doe, or...
If you were asked to give me a fake name, I might give you a name like, I don't know.
Kind of like how I would travel by Felix for a while.
True. You could be, Felix Dracos. Or something. That would be your human disguise. Definitely not a dragon, just a normal human guy.
Just a totally normal dude.
Someone as smart as you, since clearly it's terrible, might choose something like, oh, Felix Novak. And I look to Ramsey.
I see.
Novak? Well, my human disguise is human. And Novak sounds specifically...
Undercommon.
Mhm.
Wouldn't fit as well. Dracos is like a common version of the word dragon. Thus,
Forgive me, the Novak comment was a joke that you wouldn't understand.
It's my last name. That is the joke.
Oh.
It's okay.
Oh, you're making fun of his last name? That is so rude.
No.
Oh God, I would
Not at
never
all.
expect that of you.
Oh, no, we are very good
Wait,
friends.
is that why you started calling me by my last name? You said about, like, metallic dragons. It's a sign of respect.
Sorry, Habit.
No, it would
Would you
explain it.
prefer me to call you your first name?
You're welcome to. It's what I'm used to you calling me, so...
Okay, then. I shall continue to call you Quinn.
Right. Well, the circle's almost complete. I just need a little thing, one more thing from all of you. And
Is it blood?
Is it spit?
I need a core memory. Something. Seska kind of waves a hand, and a kind of quill and paper kind of land in front of each of you. If you need some time to write it down or think of something, take your time. But I need a core memory, something that you feel ties you to your time, something that happened to you that it might involve a place that, I don't know, resonates with you spiritually or something.
That can be done.
Can I ask if it's tied to a place will we be sent to that location?
No, you're most likely going to be sent back from the place to the exact place you were teleported from.
Okay.
Hey,
So it's not like trying to think of a core memory
I'm trying to
within that
No,
location.
I'm trying to set you back to the right timeline. It doesn't need to happen at the same location you guys were at, but the closer the better, I guess. I don't know. I've never actually casted this successfully before.
Well,
I've gone
How much more
backwards
time
a
do you
few
need?
times, but I've never gone forward. So we'll see if this works.
Wait, you've used it backward. That's how you get to class every time. Do it. Cheater.
I have to get some amount of sleep.
How much is some amount of sleep? How many times have you used this?
So that just write that down, please.
Let me ask a better question. How many times a day do you use it?
Okay, like only like once a day. Like I not more
It's
than
a
that.
day!
Not a
see.
day, maybe like twice, 3 times. Okay, I
5
haven't
times
used it
a week?
since we graduated.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
I've used it like a couple of times.
Are you lying to me right now?
I'm not lying to you, Seraph.
Insight?
You're not this sneaky in the future. That's funny. Or maybe you are.
Can I insight?
You wouldn't know. Why are we? Wait, I don't understand why I would even know you. Probably
do you mean?
better things going on.
Apparently I take over a human body.
What?
Guess that makes sense.
Okay. That's a little strange, but it's fine.
Yeah, so was hearing that I died. Still not over that.
I'm not over that.
It was
Fine.
interesting when we first met.
It's not like I marry a human or anything. So.
Oh, silly hate. Silly. You're
One
so
day.
silly. Have anyone ever told you that?
Okay, so you said that it's a human. What does the human look like?
Oh, very
What does my new face look like? I want to hear this.
Oh, your face. Oh, yes. Well.
Yeah.
Kind.
The human that our friend here, whose title, last name I'm forgetting, ends up with. What?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
Oh.
Which friend are you referring to? You have multiple. And more than one of you looks like of noble status.
Oh, that's funny.
So,
because we are all
memory.
noble.
I should really get focused on memory.
Okay.
So you're not going to tell me what the new body I look like? Ah.
I bet it's equally as handsome. You're fine.
What is it?
And humans can be handsome sometimes. I don't know. Maybe your draconic spirit makes it more extravagant.
I will say both of you have quite attractive humanoid forms.
Thank
It's
you.
true.
If it's any consolation.
I've been working on it.
Especially to each other.
Wait, I still do human disguise? Why would I need a human disguise if I'm already human? I'm so confused.
I'm counting the body you inhabit as a disguise, since you're still seemingly mostly you.
True.
So do I get a description? Oh no.
Okay. Long black hair. A beautiful dark skin. Kind eyes. Very kind eyes. You aren't the tallest, and you're very svelte. Although, over time, you begin to look a bit more like this, I suppose.
Okay. Dark
The tail comes
skin.
along again.
Oh, okay. Do I look something like this? And he will cast. He'll polymorph into a human disguise.
The human disguise looks exactly like Felix, Ramsey. Like oh, it's scary how similar to Felix it looks like. No horns, no tail, nothing. The gray, slight grayish eyes.
I guess you really did choose him. Never mind. This is... Yes. Yes, very good.
Who would have thought it looked like my human disguise? That's so fascinating.
Wait, what?
Ramsey
What?
looks toward
Mysterious
Quinn and
ways?
Rypley.
We've run out of sidebars for today. But when we get home, I am gloating. I am winning. The theories, I am the theorizer. I know things.
Apparently.
It
Well,
doesn't
did you have a
often react-
theory that I was half dragon? Or part
Well-
dragon?
No, I had the theory that I had the type, and I suppose that was correct.
You didn't know you had a type. I feel like that's like one thing that everybody knows about themselves.
Was being jokey.
Right.
Hmm.
You're right.
Everyone has a type, huh?
What about those
Well,
core
I
memories?
Oh, yes.
Wait, you have a type?
Yes, and it can only be described as citrus.
Really? Because I can think of another way to describe it.
I have a rapier and I will stab you.
Don't do that.
Are you trying to be funny again? Tisk tisk.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, Mr. Novak. What? Once you guys have your core memories and you are ready, Seska kind of moves each of you into the magic circle that he has drawn. And there's specific smaller circles within it, asking you to stand in each of you standing in each one, and kind of like at the sort of like highest point of it, Seska kind of takes Zareth. He takes you by the hand, kind of pulling you with him, to kind of like a point, and he goes, "Whenever you're ready, feel free to share it."
Oh.
Zareth, I need this to be at the most forefront of your mind. The easiest way to do that is by reading what you'd written down. That's why I gave you the papers.
Oh,
Okay, I can
Easier
do that.
to do if
Fine.
you're closer together.
yes.
Zareth, I need you to stand with me, if that's okay.
Yep, absolutely. And he will go where he's needed.
Yeah.
One of the things I learned in college is with sharing magic, the closer the better.
Seska's standing next to you. He's gonna hold onto your hand, for no specific reason. But Seska kind of waves one hand up, and kind of you see the kind of lines of the floor begin to glow with a bright golden color, as the spell has begun. Ramsey, feel free to go first.
We are standing in a garden. It's in Tuuf, and we made the day of it. It was a little festival, and they had a hedge maze. We went into it for fun, but we said that we got lost, so we were walking for hours, talking, laughing. I wasn't really lost, I liked talking with you. It was good. Do I need to say who the you is?
No, as long as you're thinking about it.
Yes.
And God?
I suppose I think one of my strongest core memories is also one of my oldest. The earliest Winterfest I remember. I remember waking up early and going out to feed the horses before breakfast. Spending the entire day playing games with my family, and even those that we see as family that aren't blood related, our staff. The I remember one of our staff helping me at this one board game because I was too young to really understand it.
Alright.
Just that entire day.
Rypley?
I feel like I've talked a lot about all the sad things that have happened. I think you deserve to hear something nice out of me. And I think that's when I was accepted into the Order of Jaeger, when I was given a purpose, and when I was able to swear my protection to the city of Nemeth and to keep the balance of the hunt in check.
Fair enough. And with
So
that,
they are proud of you.
you hear what sounds like the strumming of strings from that instrument Seska was playing earlier. It kind of echoes all around you. As
Do you need me to put the name in the thing again?
Please, I don't fucking remember.
Alright, look 2 messages up.
Gwyn. What? How the fuck do you pronounce that? No, never mind. I'm not gonna pronounce that. You hear the kind of light strumming of the melody, as well as you hear what sounds like a clock ticking very, very quickly. And you guys watch as Seska is trying his best to maintain this magic. His hands fully outstretched. You see a bit of blood begin to kind of leak from his nose as he is trying his best to cast this. Kind of help using Zareth a little bit almost like as a almost as a conduit to try and separate the power and kind of using each other's magic to kind of keep this spell as stable as it is. And as you guys keep thinking about those memories and everything, you guys kind of feel kind of this warmth in your bodies. Almost feels like a hug. As you guys kind of close your eyes for a second as this bright light kind of consumes you. And when you open them again, you guys are stood in the Colosseum. But Zareth and Noctis are not with you. As to be expected. And that's where I guess we can end it. Because we're going to do a shorter session today.
Hey!
So, somewhere in the past, Seska passes the fuck out onto the floor. As that spell probably almost killed him, but it's fine. He has Zareth with him. He'll be okay. It didn't kill him, and that's a good point.
We know it didn't.
But
Yes.
hey, you guys said some things, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it absolutely fucked with the timeline. So we get to deal with that next time Seska comes around, which is actually gonna be next week, but that's fine.
Yeah, why were we saying
good,
all that
because
stuff? I don't understand.
I need to talk to Seska next week anyways, so
Yeah,
I'm very
he'll be
glad.
around. It's gonna be weird, but
Just
but
get
also,
back, and it's gonna be,
also-
what did you do?
by by you guys said some stuff. You mean me, right?
By that I mean you. But also, like,
Yeah.
you guys fully mentioning that Zareth dies to Nathar and everything. I mean, you actually didn't mess up
Said
too
that
much
it was
with
to
Nathar.
Nathar.
Well,
I don't think we said Nathar was the cause.
No.
you didn't-
We
you
mean,
didn't
like,
say
spoke
Nathar was
to
cause,
him.
but you did say that he dies and Nathar did hear it. So you said it around Nathar.
Yeah.
Oh shit! We gave him the idea.
He's like, he can die. I mean, like, if it happens, he can't be mad.
Yeah,
It's
but
just
there's
like that theory about Ted Cruz being the Zodiac Killer, and he's not the Zodiac Killer yet, but he's gonna go back in time, and we're giving him the idea by coming up with the theory that he's gonna go back in time and become the Zodiac Killer.
Yeah, I know, right?
Damn it.
God.
I'm sorry, guys.
It's great.
I
There's
still
gonna
think
be,
that's one of
there's
my
some stuff
favorite
now.
crack
Because now,
theories.
specifically Nathar and Seska, absolutely, they have memory of this now. That's just a thing. All right.
But I mean, that in some ways that's a benefit to me
All right,
for
buddy.
next week.
I need a 3, 2, 1 bye. Are you ready?
3,
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
Bye.
Bye.